Hello, I am Teacher QA. I'm so excited to teach you our lesson for today. These are our Content Standard and Performance Standard in English 10 Quarter 2. At the end of the lesson, students are expected to identify key structural elements and language features of an argumentative text. Now let's get started. What is an argument? An argument is a reasoned and logical way of demonstrating that the writer's position, belief, or conclusion is valid. In English, students make claims about the worth of meaning of literary works, defending their interpretation with evidence from the text, for example. In short, arguments seek to make people believe something is true or to persuade people to change their beliefs or behavior. Purpose of an argument. The main purpose is to present one side of an argument and persuade the reader or listener to agree or take action to solve the problem. Exposition or arguments can be presented as essays, editorials, letters to the editor, or speeches. Argumentative text. An argumentative text is a type of writing that requires a writer to defend a position on a topic using evidence from personal experience, literature, historical examples, and research to support his or her viewpoint. The writer usually uses several different arguments to prove his or her point. Here is an example of an argumentative text. Replacing libraries with tablets. As online learning becomes more common and more resources are converted to digital form, some people have suggested that public libraries should be shut down, and in their place, everyone should be given an iPad with an e-reader subscription. Proponents of this idea state that it will save local cities and towns money because libraries are expensive to maintain. They also believe it will encourage more people to read because they won't have to travel to a library to get a book. They can simply click on what they want to read and read it from where they are. They could also access more materials because libraries won't have to buy physical copies of books. They can simply rent out as many digital copies as they need. However, it would be a serious mistake to replace libraries with tablets. First, digital books and resources are associated with less learning and more problems than print resources. A study done on tablet versus book reading found that people read 20 to 30% slower on tablets, retain 20% less information, and understand 10% less of what they read compared to people who read the same information in print. Additionally, staring too long at a screen has been shown to cause numerous health problems, including blurred vision, dizziness, dry eyes, headaches, and eye strain at much higher instances than reading print does. People who use tablets and mobile devices excessively also have a higher incidence of more serious health issues such as fibromyalgia, shoulder and back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and muscle strain. I know that whenever I read from my e-reader for too long, my eyes begin to feel tired and my neck hurts. We should not add to these problems by giving people, especially young people, more reasons to look at screens. Second, it is incredibly narrow-minded to assume that the only service libraries offer is book lending. Libraries have a multitude of benefits, and many are only available if the library has a physical location. Some of these benefits include acting as a quiet study space, giving people a way to converse with their neighbors, holding classes on a variety of topics, providing jobs, answering patron questions, and keeping the community connected. One neighborhood found that after a local library instituted community events such as playtimes for toddlers and parents, job fairs for teenagers, and meeting spaces for senior citizens, over a third of residents reported feeling more connected to their community. Similarly, a few surveys conducted in 2015 found that nearly two-thirds of American adults feel that closing their local library would have a major impact on their community. People see libraries as a way to connect with others and get their questions answered, benefits tablets can't offer nearly as well or as easily. While replacing libraries with tablets may seem like a simple solution, it would encourage people to spend even more time looking at digital screens, despite the myriad issues surrounding them. It would also end access to many of the benefits of libraries that people have come to rely on. In many areas, libraries are such an important part of the community network that they could never be replaced by a single territory, and soon animals will no longer have the space they need. People must work now to protect animal habitats. Number 2. Emotive words are used when certain word choices are made to evoke an emotional response. Emotive words often aim to persuade the reader or listener to share the writer or speaker's point of view, using language to stimulate an emotional reaction. Examples: agony, blessed, harsh, magnificent, vulnerable. This is an example of an argumentative with emotive words. Marine mammals should not be captured because they die from pneumonia, ulcers, and other stress-related diseases. Most of these helpless creatures suffer from boredom. Dolphins in the wild can swim up to 40 to 100 miles per day, but in pools, they go around swimming repetitive patterns. Due to boredom and limited space, many dolphins abuse themselves. They often bang their heads against tank and aquarium walls. Number 3. Evaluative language suggests the degree of approval or helps compare ideas. Examples: important, best, most, truth, largest, and more popular. This is an example of an argumentative with evaluative language. I urge people to take responsibility for this earth we share with other creatures and which we hold in trust for our children. We can do it if we work together. Number 4. Conjunctions link ideas in an argument, create cohesion, and express cause and effect. Examples: firstly, for that reason, for example, as a consequence, because of this, in particular, therefore, and finally. This is an example of an argumentative with conjunctions. There are many reasons why people should not smoke. First, smoking is unhealthy. It can cause lung cancer and it can lead to an early death. Furthermore, smoking is expensive. A pack of cigarettes costs $5. You would spend $1,500 each year. Lastly, cigarettes smell bad. When people smoke, you can smell the cigarettes on their clothes all day. To sum up, people should not smoke because it is unhealthy, expensive, and unattractive. Number 5. Declarative statements are simply statements that relay information. They state facts or opinions and let the reader know something specific. Declarative statements always end with a period. Examples: the great inventor have been banished from Athens. I am moving to a new house next week. This is an example of an argumentative with declarative statements. Throw out the bottles and boxes of drugs in your house. A new theory suggests that medicine could be bad for your health, which should at least come as good news to people who cannot afford to buy expensive medicine. However, it is a blow to the medicine industry and an even bigger blow to our confidence in the progress of science. This new theory argues that healing is at our fingertips. We can be healthy by doing spiritual methods such as Reiki, yoga, and Tai Chi. Number 6. Rhetorical questions are posed without the expectation of an answer. Clearly, readers can answer the question to you, but they might answer the question to themselves. Rhetorical questions can be one of the great ways to write an essay introduction. Examples: can you imagine that? Is this a joke? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Why is this happening? This is an example of an argumentative with rhetorical question. Can you imagine how much a single day can cost if you live in Shibuya, Tokyo? People should live in the United States rather than Tokyo because the cost of living in Tokyo is much higher than the United States. For instance, a simple outing to the movies would cost a couple $46, while the same pair of movie tickets would cost just $26.50 in New York City, which is often considered one of the most overpriced cities in the United States. Number 7. Passive voice produces a sentence in which the subject receives an action. It is used to de-emphasize the actor or even conceal the actor's identity. You may also use passive voice when you do not know who the actor is, when the actor's identity is not important, or when you want to emphasize the action instead of the actor. Examples: the lesson has already been discussed. New workers are hired by our company. The video was posted online. This is an example of an argumentative with passive voice. People should eat cake because it increases study performance. Cake has been proven to increase concentration. A study found that children who eat just one piece of cake per day have 30% better concentration than children who have no cake. An increase in concentration can allow students to cope with increased class demands, especially in more difficult classes such as math, which require concentration to solve complex problems. That's all for today. See you in our next lesson. Goodbye!